What's good, guys? Fancy Joe back here with a Week 8 edition of Buy Low, Sell Highs. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Already posted my weekly rankings. Check those out. Waiver wire information every week that comes out. Everything you need to stay up to date. Beat your friends and family in fantasy football and bring home that championship. If that's something you want to do, if you want to win, if you want to beat all of your friends and family, then just hit that subscribe button. It's that simple. Likes and comments are appreciated as well. If you need any fantasy football advice, trade advice, start sit, anything like that, all you have to do is comment down below and I'll respond to every comment. But let's dive in and talk our first sell high. Alvin Kamara is the sell high for me. I've been talking about him for quite a while as a sell high, but with the offensive situation around him being so devoid of talent, the offensive line, I would try to move on for him and see if I could potentially trade Alvin Kamara and get myself a Joe Mixon, trade Alvin Kamara, be able to get into a Ken Walker. I think absolutely those would be smash moves to me, but those are something that I would consider. And then moving on to our other, there we go. Moving on to our other buy low players. One guy I want to throw out right away. He's on the list before. It's Jayden Reed. He's got a great matchup against Jacksonville this week. I think now is the time to strike while the iron's hot. He's still the wide receiver 5 on the year. A little bit of disappointing games, though, these last 3. Not exactly what you're hoping for, but I expect brighter days ahead. I said to be very good in this Jacksonville matchup. Then they play Detroit, another team with a weak secondary that doesn't really allow you to run the ball. So I expect some really good outings for him these next 2 weeks if you need to win right now. I think Jayden Reed's a good player to go out there and acquire. Another one, we talked about Tyreek last week, and hopefully you're a week ahead of that. We've had a bunch of hits on the buy low, sell high so far this year. But Jaylen Waddle, go out there, see if you can throw together a package and be able to get him now that Tua's back. I think he's going to be a difference maker. Guy you could throw into your wide receiver 2 spot if you lost Rashee Rice or somebody like that. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans this last week. Go out, make a move, get Jaylen Waddle potentially, not have to give a ton up for him. And then another guy, similar trend, Devon Achane. This is another guy I'd be looking to add. They play Arizona this week. Things are going to be different for him now that they have the threat of the pass. He's going to be catching a lot of passes. So we saw him 7-7 the first 2 games with Tua. But things are going to be a lot better for him moving forward. I'm really hopeful for him. And then one other name I'll throw out there, CeeDee Lamb, if you haven't tried that one already. We talked about him last week as well, but I'd love to go out there and try to acquire CeeDee Lamb. I think Malik Nabers is a buy low off of the slow game this last week. And then taking a look, I'm just trying to make sure if there's any sell highs that I make sure that I mention them. Let's see. Okay, one really popular sell high that I've been seeing a lot is Tank Bigsby. I think there's a real chance Tank Bigsby ends up with a much larger role in this offense than people realize. I will say this: if you don't need to win right now, let's say you're 5-2 or you're 6-1, maybe trade Tank Bigsby to the RB needy team that needs to win right now. Get an asset you can use a few weeks down the road. But if you need to win now, I'd keep plugging Tank Bigsby in. I think he's going to have really good weeks and be a lot better for fantasy football than people realize. I think he's the most talented running back on that team. And I really like Travis Etienne, but just the player he has been so far this season, I don't know if it has been just the nagging injuries that's limiting him. I think he's a good football player, but what he's shown us on the field so far this season is not what we typically see from Travis Etienne. So I would be adjusting my expectations moving forward. A couple of names I want to throw out just some strategy-wise. So DeAndre Swift, he's not a sell for me yet, but I do think DeAndre Swift is going to be a prime guy to be able to sell in about a week or 2. He plays Washington Commanders this week. Great matchup for him, and he has Arizona. I would try to flip him probably right after that week for this New England or Green Bay game. None of these are bad matchups even, but these are really juicy. Washington, Arizona. He's coming off a string of 3 really good games. I would try to flip him and see if I can't get into a really, really good RB1 or potentially a wide receiver 1. I think that might be something easier for you to do. Just the name value, I think people still view Swift a little bit lower than some of these elite backs, which I think is fair. But see if you can flip him and get potentially, one of the better wide receivers in the league. take a DeAndre Swift and be able to move yourself into a Drake London or maybe a receiver slightly worse than that, but something like that or in that range, I think is doable. Alrighty, if you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you have any questions or comments, need any trade advice, let me know down below. I'll respond as always. This has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys so much for watching.